except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. From my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve, because one street over there's a life I could have known would have kept me from the one I love today.
Oh, good morning. How you doing? This is 1100 WSGI. I'm Neutral LaVern. This is one street over. Welcome to Bill Jones is in the house.
Rich harmony.
How are you doing?
I'm cold.
Where Southern music loves on WSGI. We want you to know we're Southern gospel.
Radio station has. So I think it's going to work. Paul, you can let me know. Are you hearing it? Are you getting a shot? And we'll talk a little more about that when we talk about so I hope you can see everything.
Robertson County, it is time to join the Gig Club. Get Cumberland Connect. If you are a Cumberland Electric customer, well, good news, you can join me in the Gig Club, and you can have a full gig for just $80, high-speed internet that will blow you away. If you're like me and you've had terrible internet service for far too long, well, it's time to get in the Gig Club. Now, what you do is you go to cumberlandconnect.org, put in your zip code, cumberlandconnect.org, and it'll tell you if they're in your neighborhood already or when they're going to be in your neighborhood.
How's that? There we go. Now we've got it. All right. I think we've got it. My husband's keeping me straight here. But we're just trying to figure out how everything works. That's the thing is with Ebenezer Broadcasting and what they've done, they're bringing in new stuff all the time. And, you know, you have to relearn it. Same thing that I'm doing with the program that I have at Greenbrier. When we get a piece of equipment, I've got to learn to use it. And because this kind of technology is changing all the time. But I think we've kind of got it figured out, and I think I can see your comments now and all of those things. So if you have any comments for us, please let me know, and we'll just see how this works. I went a different way. I came in since I had some snow day time. I came in and kind of tried to figure out what would work to kind of. That's what I tell the students all the time. When something doesn't work, technology, odds are there's a workaround, at least one or two workarounds. If you don't
get frustrated first. Okay, you get frustrated, you lost it.
Exactly. Bill Jones is in the house. It looks like everything is working like I want it to. So yay! I hope you guys have been enjoying my little road reports early in the morning. Just simply
I watched that. That's interesting.
Because people need to kind of see what the road conditions are. Lee Marie messaged me this morning, and she said, I don't think I'm coming in. You know, she typically would do the go show from 8 to 9, and if I didn't have other things going, I would do it 4. But I've already got something on my schedule this morning. And she lives out on a pretty treacherous road, and I mean hills and curves. And you figure my road, New Chapel, Lawrence Lane, gets more attention than other roads because I live next to the wastewater plant. And if you live out near a public,
you don't want to skid into that.
No, well, and you figure they have to maintain those roads as best they can. So the hill coming down down the hollow, I live down in the hollow, but they have salted it. But if they had not salted that, I don't know if we could have gotten out. I mean, because it's
salt doesn't work
really sharp
below 20.
True. Well, I guess they scraped it and then salted it maybe when it was high sun yesterday.
Yeah, it could be then. Yeah,
there was a minute yesterday where things
a lot
were
melted
melting.
yesterday. I was surprised the amount it did.
I was too, but the roads still are just awful. So you think we'll go to school tomorrow? I doubt it.
You may not go to school first next week.
Honestly, as I've been looking at the temperatures, I'm not sure we'll be able to get back Monday. Because
I'm sort of thinking that too.
I don't think
it's going to be warm next week.
Yes, I think by Tuesday, absolutely. But I'm not sure that the roads will be clear enough. And again, we have no idea. We have no say in it. And what are you doing? Is there anything going on that we need to know about? Or are you just joining us? Okay.
I'm gonna make smart aleck comments.
Okay.
You can tell the difference. We're driving down the road and we saw our northern friends, our neighbors.
Yeah.
You know, you could they're northerners because they were out shoveling the snow off their driveways. Because the good southerner knows that Tuesday it's all going to be gone.
That's right. That's right.
It doesn't accumulate like it does up north.
Yeah. So stay y'all.
I don't guess they even sell snow removal machines down here, I guess. Do they?
Snowblowers?
Yeah, snowblowers.
I don't know.
I've seen a couple of them at the pawn
you?
shops where people bring them down from up north.
Yeah,
and then
that's
they realize
that's what it
in a
did.
few years they don't need them.
I saw a little one like the size of a broom the other day on sidewalks. It shot the snow out, and you can just scrape it. And I don't know how effective that would be.
I have spent many hours behind a snowblower, but my dad's philosophy was the only time I could use the snowblower instead of the shovel was if we got over 18 inches of snow.
18.
Inches.
Oh.
I've been up north when it's just now. And what's really weird is we try to get up there, around the holidays. We didn't make it this year because of my mother's passing, but we're trying to be more diligent about getting up there around Christmas all the time. And we were real faithful when his parents were alive, but now that's just his siblings. We don't get up there and we miss them. But anyway, so there wasn't any snow when we were planning on going at Christmas, that y'all hadn't gotten any snow up there yet. And I was really distressed because, that's why I wanted to go, is hang out in the North Woods in the snow.
Exactly.
I wanted to see the family, of course, but I wanted that solitude. Of course, I'm getting it now. Boy, man.
Going stir crazy.
Well, not really. No, we're reorganizing the house. There's so many things I could do. I could use 2 days.
Went for a good long walk yesterday in the
we
snow.
Went for a winter walk yesterday. That was lovely. It was a little cold. Our new puppy, his feet got kind of cold.
What he's thinking. Is he's thinking, is this what it's going to be like?
Yeah.
From now on?
16, 17 weeks old.
Yeah.
He's a Great Dane.
He's
a humdinger. He's a humdinger. His name's Zeke.
He stayed with us, though.
Yeah, he did. But
how big is he now?
Probably
60
50,
pounds.
60 pounds.
50.
50. He's massive.
Wow.
He is so heavy, I can't lift him.
Yeah, he's solid.
Yeah, we went to the Tractor Supply and got one of those collar things with the handle on the back just to help me kind of get it, because we're trying to housebreak it.
You can't pick him up.
No. And he's,
he just becomes
he's massive.
dead weight when you try to pick him up. He just
don't want to do
goes
it,
limp.
goes limp. And you're just like, come on.
Yeah. I think he knows. He knows he can do that now.
Oh, yeah.
Go limp and get his way.
Not anymore now that I got the harness.
Yeah, we're trying.
I can pack him just like I did my twins when they were little with the coveralls.
Coveralls.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't had to deal with a puppy in forever because we've rescued dogs for years, and so I've just not had.
Where'd you get this one?
On the other side of town.
One of my students, okay, Jackson, last week. He said, we were talking about the weather coming in. It was the day I called you, okay?
I
It was
don't
that
know
same
what they.
place. Well, yeah, I called Bill because the kids were number one, very disgusted.
For the classroom. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
they were disgusted. They didn't get out on Friday, and they were speculating we were going to get out because of the wind forecast. Well, and then we were talking about. I said, guys, it's January, and I said it could be.
Oh, yeah.
It could be worse in February than January.
Instead of a bowl.
Yeah, and they're showing pictures of my puppy eating out of.
He's eating out of a bucket instead of a dog bowl.
But
It's easier that way when you have a German Shepherd, a black lab, and now a Great Dane.
Yeah.
I only have to fill it once a day.
so
You don't want a little Chihuahua, do you?
no. Well, so but Jackson, we were discussing the fact that I said I don't think you'll get out Friday. I said I don't think there's any need, and I said we're going to need our snow days because of what's coming this week, and also because of the fact that we could get just as bad. I'm talking and you're talking over me. So listen, they're so rude. They don't know how radio works. I can turn their mics down. So what happened? Is just I've got the control board, y'all. So
She
We're
has
having fun
control,
over here.
just like she does at home.
So anyway, but Jackson, we were talking about the weather coming in. I said we cannot just be randomly taking days because I said it looks like we're going to be out a lot next week if we get the precipitation that we could get. And I said, and then February could be worse than January, y'all. And so he goes, we got to do something about our puppies. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, we got a bunch of Great Dane puppies, and we're going to have to, they had them in a barn kind of set up.
That's my grandson.
And they had them in kind of a barn. And he said, we're going to have to bring them into the basement or the family because we can't leave them out in this cold. And I said, what kind of puppies you've got? And he goes, oh, we got Great Danes. I'm like, what? And they had gotten a male and a female. And they were not intending on having pups, but they didn't get her spayed quick enough. They didn't get them, taken care of. Well, they ended up with an unplanned litter of Great Dane puppies. And so because they just want to get them in homes, they only charge $200 for these dogs, and they're $1,000 dogs. So I was like, no, I don't need a dog. And I normally won't buy a dog. We rescue. Well, I really
They usually
want,
pay us to take them.
Yeah, truly. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how many
Here's a
wonderful
bag of
dogs
dog
I've
food.
had for
Please
free.
take the dog.
But so this I've always wanted another Great Dane. I had one years ago that was a rescue, and I like raising dogs from puppies because that way you can determine their temperament. Sometimes you get rescues and they're not awesome dogs because they've maybe just been raised a little bit of
Quirky.
Yeah, and so I like raising my dogs, and so this is the first puppy we've had to housebreak. Oh, she's a piece. I feel like I've got infants in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 a.m.
Babies again.
And I'm the one that's been getting up and
Well,
taking
you
care
know
of
what?
them
I
at
thought
2
about that
a.m.
this morning because he helped me not at all with the kids, and I had
Exactly.
twins
None
out of the
whatsoever.
gate. You did not get
I
up.
didn't. I just admitted it. I did not. I had
So,
work to do.
You're getting up with the dogs. He had work to do. Really?
Yeah.
Really? Are we going to go there? Bill Jones is in the house. Bill, talk to me. What should we be expecting?
A fight at your house, I think.
No. We have fun. We tease each other all the time. But so here's the question. Looking at the forecast, because this is what I cautioned the kids last week. I said, as you look at it, it's really hard to know how much precipitation you're going to get. Did we get more snowfall than you were anticipating?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because you were thinking the way it was moving originally, it was going to be south of us, and we were, maybe going to get.
Might not get it. I was thinking we might not get any. Maybe a little dusting is what I was thinking. But
what did we end up with?
I got 4 inches. Everybody, going toward Ridgetop is more. Going toward White House more than right here. We was just on the edge of it. So everybody is fighting for who's got the most,
I live in the banana belt again.
Yeah, but see, the banana belt, to explain, the part of the Upper Peninsula where he lives doesn't get quite as much snow as the surrounding areas, and so they call it the banana belt. But they
My
still
uncle
get
called it the banana. I don't know if anybody else.
That's
ever
what,
did.
yeah, they because they don't get quite as much snow, but they still get a ridiculous amount. But so we ended up getting the precipitation, and because of the temperatures, there's nowhere for it to go, and it's going to stick around until it can melt. So,
well, I'll tell you what bad time will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because it's going to warm up a little bit. And when it does that, then ice comes in, melted snow, rain, sleet.
Yeah.
That's not good.
It's gonna
this
be a
is
mess.
nice. You can sled on this stuff and have a great time because it's dry.
just so
But when this other stuff comes in, now next week it's going to be warm, thank goodness. But
it'll be gone.
from now to then, That's when you need to stay indoors. Now people are getting cabin fever. I'm sure I am. I want to get out. I'm going to go to the Y when I get through. And but when that stuff comes, it's a lot more dangerous than this is.
Oh yes, for sure. And this arrogant Yankee actually turned over.
He laughs.
Well, no, because I kept telling. Don't you? You remember turning over that?
Oh, in Effingham, yeah.
We were traveling. I mean, we always
It just
traveled on
woke
this
me
stuff.
up.
Excuse.
He hit some of this ice instead of snow that he's not accustomed to, and we slid over. We actually kind of slid off the road and it turned over in a ditch. But it's when the twins were just a year old. We're not going to go down there.
People get the 4-wheel drive stuff thinking that's going to help them, but it doesn't help going downhill. It helps going up, but you're going to slide like everybody else slides. Yeah.
And it's a different slide.
It is.
I mean, when you just have rear control, it kind of controls one way, but when you got all 4 tires sliding.
Yeah. You have to know how to drive on this, guys. And that's the reason why I've drug him out every morning this week is because I wanted him to come in and because I can drive on it. He's taught me pretty well. And we've got the Expedition in long as it's in 4-wheel drive. But my little Camry, they say, would do well because it's front-wheel drive, but I haven't even tried it.
It's totally different.
Yeah, it's a totally different thing from what I'm used to. And again, if you're on some of these really treacherous, curvy back roads, I wouldn't even try it. You're going to be snowed in for a bit because what's coming in tomorrow? Kind of what do you think we've got coming in tomorrow?
Well, that's not the good part. Yeah, I see that.
That's what we got coming in.
It's going to start getting warmer, which is not good.
No, it's gonna thaw.
We're going to have a lot of thawing, and there's a lot of snow out there to thaw. And it will turn to ice at night, and here we go. It's just off and on, up and down, and you just need not be out because it's going to have some rain coming in, snow, ice, sleet, whatever it turns into, and that's not good for the roads.
He's not helping. My husband's distracting.
Stop
it. He's showing us all these silly
I
memes.
shouldn't drive in the snow.
He's showing us all these silly memes. Oh, I can see comments now. This is wonderful. Okay, so Paul is saying up in Detroit they've got 10 inches. They got 7 in Hendersonville. Paul is chiming in. Aaron Slate's chiming in that he lives on Worsham Springs Road and they have about 6 inches. He did venture out for a little bit and all the back roads, including Oak Greenbrier Pike, were still solid white, but the main highway was clear. So the main roads, if you can get to a main road, you will be fine. But if you're on some of these back roads, and I keep going back to my friends that I've got a lot of friends that live on Hood's Branch Road. I can't imagine what that's like because it's curvy and it's got hills.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
just to get to it, New Chapel, going down there over the creek,
That's true.
That 99-degree corner down there,
Yeah, a little Devil's Elbow, our own little version of Devil's Elbow right there on
New Chapel, going down to the Cars Creek.
Because it's a hill going into a sharp curve. Ew, I wouldn't try it. If I didn't have to, guys, I wouldn't try it. And we are very fortunate to live next to the wastewater plant at times like these. Just saying, because they do a little more road maintenance, but even then, it is not awesome. Lawrence Lane has still got a lot of ice on it. So what do you
on this morning on my weather, Robeson County weather? I put a bunch of stuff up there. A lot of towns. It was a -13 Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Wow.
That's the lowest I've seen so far, but I got down to 1. But there were a lot of areas that's way down there, -9, -8, -7, all across Tennessee. And if you go to Robeson County weather, you'll see those. It's a blue thing you're looking at there that's gotten all those cities and what they're.
But you can go, what he's talking about, there's a Facebook page for Robertson County weather. And that is where Bill reports to. Is that your webpage?
That's mine.
Can you maintain that?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But Robertson County weather, a lot of people follow that. I was actually talking about having a conversation with you at the ball game. I guess it was, what were we doing? Okay, it was Friday night. Friday night we were at the ball game, and we had our homecoming, or our coming home, they call it, because it's a king instead of a queen. It's like so confusing. But anyway. So I was talking about calling you in the classroom, and everybody's like, "Oh no, you need to listen to this guy. You need to listen to this guy." And they pull up your website, and I was like, "That's who I called. That's who I called."
I don't tell people.
So anyway,
I don't tell
I
people
got
I
that.
didn't even know that existed, but we need that. We need to market.
You
that
didn't?
better, no?
Well, I know. I can't do.
Well,
There's
you
so
only
much
have
going on.
3,000 followers.
Yeah, I know it, but
you
it's so much research and looking, for stuff that I don't have that much time. I need a helper.
we need
what
to
I need.
share that to my page if you can, Mark. The connection. I'll do it. He doesn't know how to do that. I will try to remember to share that to my page and do all that. But here, let me see it. Maybe I can do that.
Robertson
But
County weather.
It's
Pretty
called
simple.
Robertson County Weather, and let's see if I can figure out how to.
When
share
things
that.
come up, everybody's asking questions, and I can't answer them all. And then they start answering them for me, and sometimes they're not right. So I'm really, it stirs me up because I'm trying to get them right and wrong and whatever.
Well, because here's the thing.
We just don't sleep.
Yeah.
Weather is one of those things. I had what was the guy's name? Oh, one of the big weather forecasters. He's passed away. Chase? No. What was that?
Bob Lobertini.
No, there was a guy in Nashville.
That was way
He
back.
on-
You weren't even
he
here.
was on
Yeah.
Channel 17 at the tour, but he was also on Channel 5. I'm blank on his
I don't
name.
know.
Somebody will fill it in.
Well, but nonetheless, he had told me one time, he had said, he goes, when you hear that it's 25% chance of rain, that means that 25% of the people in the area that we're reporting on are going to see rain,
I gave that explanation to Smokey Barnes. If you'll read him sometime, it's sort of complicated. It's not what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
When they say it's a 30% chance of snow, that's
Right.
it's not. It's more scientific than that. And it's hard to explain.
Right. And so, and that's the way I had him explain it to me. And I thought, well, that makes pretty good sense. But it just says you and I were talking, looking at what was coming in. If the front had stayed a little bit south, a little bit north, we could have ended up with nothing.
Changed. We
we
could have
truly
changed
could have.
directly. Yeah.
We've got kids. One of my sons, the only one of my sons that's not enjoying any snow is the one down in Huntsville, and they even got a little bit, but they didn't really. All you have to do is just move a little. Those. I grew up in a farm family. We still farm, and be the farm that doesn't get rain when everybody else does, and it happens all the time. So it's very hard to gauge, and you can just
I often think of people in the old days, say 1800s. They had no weather forecasting, and they just wake up one morning and here it is. They didn't. They watched the skies. They knew some things about skies that predicted what's coming, but they wouldn't know a tornado's coming or a thunderstorm. They just knew they better get somewhere.
Yeah, Joe Case is who I was trying to.
Joe
think of.
Case,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I forgot about him.
And
Yeah.
we used to be pretty good friends, and I lost track of him. That bless him, we lost him several years ago, and to heart.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know he
passed
died.
away.
Okay.
Yeah, he had been in the hospital and had some heart procedures, and I actually thought he was doing pretty good, and we lost him. That just broke my heart. He was such a good guy, real spiritual.
Fairly young.
Oh yeah, because he's my age.
Well,
That's not very
I used to think.
I think he's about.
I used to
my
think my age was very old till I get here, and then I go, oh.
I'm 61, so yeah, Anyway, it's all good, y'all. We know where we're going. It's all good. It's all good. So Bill Jones is in the house, and it's already 23 after. And we've just talked a little bit all over the place. But the main thing is, I wanted you to kind of, as I'm looking at the forecast tomorrow, and looking at the temperatures and seeing what the road conditions are, and anticipating if there's a window of time where I might could get out if I were.
I've got the forecast on my weather page.
Okay.
There. It's there for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I think.
So what can you kind of give?
I
it
don't
to
remember.
Us? Can you pull it up and kind of? I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and do my break. Let me go ahead and do. I know the internet in here. That's one of the reasons why I've had to kind of go through the hardwired internet in the board here, trying to fix all my internet issues. And but we'll let you guys we'll let you pull something up here, and we'll talk about what to expect over the next few days. And truly, guys, as we're looking at the forecast, I'm gonna pull their microphones down because I need to do my break. We need to talk about Cumberland Connect. So the what I wanted to mention is, the internet issues that we have in here. It's not because Ebenezer Broadcasting hasn't tried to bring the best thing that possible in here. They have, and they've got great internet service, sorta. But we have wireless connectivity issues, things like that. And it's problems that I used to have when I had some of the internet providers that I had available to me. You only have what's available to you. And unfortunately, the radio station's not in an area where they have Cumberland Connect. They don't have, you can't have Cumberland Connect here because this is not a Cumberland Electric facility. So I'm sorry, you can't get it here. But if you're a Cumberland Electric customer, good news for you, you're going to have access to Cumberland Connect, and we're getting really close to getting everybody having access. I talk about Kerry Roberts. Senator Roberts is going to be one of the last to get it. He's got it now. He hasn't hooked it up yet because he's so busy with all the other stuff, and they're getting ready to go into session. But he has said that, yes, I do have access now if I want to get it turned on. Once you get access, get it turned on because you are going to be so happy once you see that because the internet is now a utility and we need to have connectivity. Everybody needs to be able to get online, and it makes all the difference in the world with being working from home. A lot of people needing to work from home right now because they can't get out on the road. You need to make sure you've got the best internet possible. If you're a Cumberland Electric customer, check it out. See when they're going to be knocking on your door, and the minute they do, turn the thing on. You're going to be so glad. $80 will get you a gig. Bill's part of the gig club. We're the gig club. They've got all kinds of packages. If $80 sounds like a lot, if you're somebody that needs help financially, because it's a utility, they have the Affordable Connectivity Program. And if you qualify, you could get up to $30 per month to help pay for broadband services. They've got packages starting at just $30 per month, you guys. Can't beat it. Cumberland Connect, how do you connect with them? 800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, or just go to cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org. Put in your address, and they will tell you when to expect them to come knocking on your door. This is 1100 WHDI. The program
Barry and Rebecca Richards are with the Exit Realty.
All right, Bill, what do you think? Have you been able to pull up the forecast yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks to him. I can't get my own without him.
Well, it's really wonky in here. I don't know why, but again, I wish we had Cumberland Connect in here. We don't.
Okay.
What you got for us, Bill?
Thursday, which is tomorrow.
Okay.
I think I did this day before yesterday. Mostly cloudy, rain, snow, showers in the afternoon, little or no snow accumulation, high in the mid-30s. That's what's going to bring on the big melt and ice. Now, south winds 5 to 10. That makes it pretty rough. With gusts up to 20. That not nice.
Yeah.
Chance of precipitation is 80%. Thursday night, cloudy. Chance of rain and snow showers again in the evening. Little or no snow accumulation. Lows in the low 20s. That's where it hardens back down and you make all that crunchy sound now. East winds around 5 miles per hour becoming northwest after midnight. Chances of precipitation 50%. And then Friday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming partly sunny, highs in the mid-20s. That's not good. Partly cloudy Friday night, cold with lows near 5 below or at 5 above zero. Wind chill value as low as 10 below after midnight. So that's still not very good.
Now, and the things that you're talking about, the precipitation.
We need to go to Florida.
And I don't like the snow.
It makes me feel like I'm at home.
Yeah.
I like a little bit of snow. I do. And now I'll be sick of it by the time we get on the other side of this one. I'll be ready to get back to my schedule. But I do like a little bit of snow. It's very nice. Love being a teacher and snow days. Just saying, this is fun.
You get paid anyway.
Well, and I mean, we got work to do. He's been working on his curriculum. I mean,
I know. Yeah.
He's got a lot of work to do with his curriculum. I do as well. And so I haven't done as much as he has because I'm in my second year. And but that's the thing. We've been working. I'm going by the school this morning because I'm in charge of the digital sign. But answer that phone call. But I'm in charge of the digital sign, and so I need to give it some attention. So we're going to run to the school. And also, too, it gives us a chance to maybe see what's going on Ridgetop. I'm wondering, has anybody been down the ridge? Have they gotten the ridge clear? I can't imagine trying to navigate that unless they've got that clear.
I think that's clear. Highway 76 is clear. They've done a good job on 76. I understand from people who live there.
The state has done a really good job.
Yeah. And Highway 41.
Yeah, they got my mailbox. Every year they get my mailbox. This time they didn't take it with them, but
they hit the mailbox?
Oh, they do every year. And my
Back
neighbors,
it up
they get
off
me
the
and my
road,
neighbors.
mister.
Oh my goodness.
As a former bus driver, back your mailbox off the road a little bit.
So
Well, I checked the post office. I've got the correct distance. They just flying down through there, and it probably I'm just gonna have to redo the whole thing. I got a big, heavy mailbox.
Yeah.
You hit that thing, your car's damaged. But it's been hit so many times, but it's still making it because it's so heavy. But the post this time, they did that number. So when it gets warm, I'll have to go back in and reinstall everything.
well, my car. I talk about having this is. I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole here because we can. Because I mean, it's a snow day. But if you read my book Jesse, you'll see that there was an incident when I was in college. I fell asleep at the wheel, and this is the middle of the night. I decided I was going to surprise my parents and go home early. It was not a good surprise because I fell asleep at the wheel, and I pulled over in the little town of Dukedom. I was going from Freed-Hardeman to Mayfield, right? And so I pull over in Dukedom, and I think I need to take a nap.
That's
So
in Kentucky?
yeah.
Okay.
Dukedom. I pulled over. I'll never forget. I pulled over at the little bank there in Dukedom and fell asleep. And I remember waking up, and it's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I don't know what time it was. It was dark 30. And so I think, oh, Mom and Dad are going to be worried. I better get home. And they didn't even know I was on the road.
Right.
And trust me, there was no partying, none of that. I had just discovered radio, and I had been working at the radio station all kinds of crazy hours and hadn't had any sleep and taking finals and all that. And so I wasn't misbehaving in any way, but I just hadn't had any sleep. And so I thought, oh, I got to get going. And I remember getting behind the wheel and taking off, and I don't remember anything else for miles and miles. And I hit a cross tie that somebody had as a mailbox post. And that's what woke me up. And
Yeah, that'll wake you up.
that woke me up. And then, because I crossed over, it's a wonder I didn't get killed. I can't believe I survived this. Neither can my parents. Because my parents at the time, they were so mad at me. But I ended up going down this farmer's field and into his pond.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I ended up in his pond. And this is like, again, dark 30. I guess, but by the time my parents got there, the sun was coming up. So I don't know what time all this happened. But this is before cell phones, y'all. So
How'd they know about it?
Well, because I
Walked up to the
as
farmer's
soon as I
field.
hit the water and I knew I wasn't pinned, I knew I was okay because I was a deep water lifeguard at the time. I mean, I'm a very good swimmer, and so I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm out. But I ended up not even submerging. But so I went out the window. But as it turns out, I didn't have to because it didn't completely submerge the car. But so I waded out of the pond and I get up. I'm like in the middle of a field and I see a farmhouse off in the distance and I walk to the door. I'm soaking wet. This is in the spring. And I knock on the door and I tell them, I said, I fell asleep at the wheel and I ended up in your pond and I need to call my parents. And of course that was back in the day when people were a little more trustworthy and they're like, absolutely couldn't have been more helpful. Gave me the phone. I called Mom and Dad. I'm fine, but I've had a wreck.
That's back when we used to remember phone numbers.
How old were you?
18.
Okay.
I was 18. And, but it was because it was at the end of my freshman year. It was the end of my freshman year because I had just gotten into radio a few months earlier and I was working every radio station they'd let me have, and trying to do finals and all that. And yeah, I had a little Bobcat.
Did it damage the car where you couldn't?
The car was ruined.
Ruined. Okay.
Yeah, it soaked the car and I took the front. I mean, I tore up the front end of it when I hit the cross tie. And so yeah. I had big old stereo in there. Remember the stereo with the big turntable and the big tall speakers?
You have big speakers in the car.
Oh yeah. I had all that.
Golly.
I was coming home from the semester.
I thought you meant they were installed in the car.
No. What happened is we had already moved out of the dorms, and I ended up working at the radio station too late to really get home, and I should have stayed with friends. I had friends in Henderson who's like, why don't you stay at our house? I'm like, no, I'm going home. I'm fine. Stupid move. But yeah. So I hit a cross tie, and I told all that because you mentioned the mailbox. I hit the mailbox post is what woke me up, probably saved me, really. As long as I didn't hit it dead center head on, But nonetheless, God had it, and He got me through it, and oh yeah.
I guess the people were asleep. You knocked on the door.
Sure they were. Yeah, they were, but they couldn't have been more kind. It was fine, but oh yeah.
We need to try to find them someday.
I'm sure they were older.
Oh,
It was an
okay.
older couple. I can't imagine. I have not been back to Duke.
I'm sure that story's been told around that community.
Probably. Well, and I was part of the Lowe's Lady Devils. We were the basketball team. We only got beat something like 6 times in 4 years because we were a really good basketball team.
Where did this come from?
Huh? What?
What are you talking about?
Because I had been one of the main ball players, and
Yeah,
people knew,
yeah.
it got around town that one of the Lowe's girl ball players that got killed in a car accident because they figured I had, and it got around town. It's like, oh, did you hear one of the Lowe's girls got killed in a car accident last night? It's like, no, she didn't. I'm fine. But anyway,
She's hard-headed.
But you know how little rumors get spread and all that. So you're showing me comments. So
No.
Absolutely. Let's see here.
Miss Lou Marie sent me a message for you.
Okay.
So
All right.
check.
Yeah. Lee Marie, check my messages. But I will do that. And if you've got any questions for us, I can see comments now because I'm working through the radio. I'm working through the hard line internet that we have on the main control board here.
Technology is so wonderful
I've had
when
to
it works.
figure things out on how that I can make things work. And so I'm able to see comments again. But, and Aunt Shirley is checking in from the Upper Peninsula.
How much
Hi,
snow
Aunt
we've
Shirley.
got
How
up
much
there.
snow have you got up there, Aunt Shirley? And happy belated birthday. She's one of our aunts up there, and she had a birthday last week, I think so. But anyway, happy birthday. And anyway, so we're going to check and see what else we've got in messengers. Lee Marie's got some messages for us to check into. So what are we missing here, Bill? What would you tell people as far as what?
Well, you think about it. I was thinking this morning. I don't know. You remember when they had chains on tires? It's illegal now, but
Really?
I remember.
didn't know it was illegal.
Chain, stud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Studded tires are illegal.
What it does to the roadways, maybe?
Oh,
Yeah, it
Tears
tears them up.
asphalt up.
Okay.
Especially when you start spinning your tires.
But I'm old enough. I was just a kid. I was 6 years old in 1951. We had a big ice storm then. It was not only snow, it was a lot of snow, but ice was like 4 inches thick on Main Street in Springfield. Wow. It was not a good time. You couldn't get anything from Nashville. No trucks were running, no nothing. Of course, back then you got things through train and truck. And it was very treacherous. I know my grandmother lived out on Adairville Pike, and she lived by herself in a big house out there. And we finally went out there. My dad took us all, put in the car, and we went out there to get her to bring her into town. But she didn't want to come. She had a coal fireplace, and
She's like, I'm fine.
but I've got pictures of us, movies going down Adairville Highway. Mm-hmm. But the lines were down, and trees were
Harding
bending
Gate
over
chain.
because there's so
Now,
much
what does
ice. A lot of snow doesn't hurt things like that until you have ice. Now, that's what could happen Friday, and Saturday. We get ice forming on the lines, you might lose power. And my wife
We do not want a 92 again.
All right.
Just like when we moved
I
here.
hadn't even thought about that, Bill, because you figure, boy, wouldn't that be a mess?
Yeah.
If we have, good land.
We
Think
don't.
about all of
My
our
wife is
sidewalks.
worried about losing. She's got my coat laying beside the one I got on beside my bed. She's prepared. She's prepared.
prepared. I
And
love
I said,
her. She's a
you
sweetheart."
don't worry about all the snow. It's not going to take your lines down. It's when it's
Yeah.
ice,
Well,
sleet, and stuff like that.
I
It'll
hadn't
pull
thought
your
about
lines
that.
down.
And if we get that, because, when you were going through the forecast for tomorrow, you don't really anticipate accumulation or anything
Yeah.
like that. But that ice could
Yeah.
be detrimental. And can you imagine if these line workers have to go out and try to repair
Oh,
these
man,
lines with these roads
whew.
like it is?
I don't see how they do it.
I'm telling you, as much as I'm enjoying snow days as a teacher, God bless these ones that don't get to take time off. That's the thing. And, as I'm dragging out coming in to do the radio show in the morning, I'm like, I could be sleeping in, But think about all these people that just have no choice. The emergency
Right.
workers. I mean, God bless you guys. Be
The
praying for them.
superheroes of our
Yes, they
society.
are. They really are. You just have no idea. We have our daughter-in-law's family. One of her cousins is married to an emergency management. He's what is
EMT.
yeah, but is he an EMT?
Mm-hmm.
But Shane is, and he is. I asked him. He got to enjoy a snow day with his kids on Monday, but then he had to be back at work Tuesday morning, and so and then they won't hardly see him. It's a rough life. My friend Paul Rainey that's on here every morning. 41 years he worked with as a Metro fireman, and they're on duty days, and then they have some days off. But if it happens to fall during their shift, they're in the middle of this. Can you imagine? I can't imagine how exhausting it is.
I used to be a volunteer fireman for the county.
Oh, really? Okay.
You can't imagine in the wintertime, you've got all that water around you. It's going to freeze when it's real cold.
Right.
And it makes things really difficult. It's hanging on you, on your coat, everything.
Oh.
And it just really gets to be a burden, weight and everything, you know.
Well, and if there's anything that, Paul, do you think there's something, Paul Rainey, being that he did so many years as a fireman, is there something that we could do right now for emergency workers? I mean, is there something?
Food. Feeding them. Like
bring food?
They did last time, they had somebody, I forget who it was now, open the old armory down on
Fairgrounds.
and they had free breakfast for them. All these people coming in to help. And that was really good. And somebody just all of a sudden thought and said, I'll do it. They didn't just call, well, I want you to do it. They just went and did it. I don't remember who it was.
If we have an ice event tomorrow that knocks down power lines and stuff, it might be, again, a time to feed these guys.
Yeah.
Huh, that's a good thought. So I just plant that seed. If you're somebody that can facilitate that, that might be something that would really help out. Programming note, Lee Marie is wanting to mention that she's got a big old long thing here for me to read. I'm going to hand this off to Mark and let him read it, Lee Marie, and you give us, it's hard to read something that long on the air. So see that note, read that, and then tell us what all she says. But I'll tell you, the main thing is that she was not going to come in today because of she lives on a treacherous road. And if you're one of those that lives on a road that has not had any attention and it is ice packed and snow covered, you need to stay off of it. You don't need to be out. We were out. I mentioned that we, because of the new puppy, we went out and picked up a collar and stuff at Tractor Supply the other day. And there was a police officer in there, and he goes, "Y'all be careful." And I thought, I know, yes, sir. Because they told us to stay off the roads. And he kind of gave us that look like, are y'all really supposed to be out here? And I thought, bless your heart. And I didn't explain to him that I have a experienced, snow driver and a 4-wheel drive that we were in. So we were being super.
And I'm a little crazy, so that helps.
Well, yeah. And anyway, just behave yourselves out there and be safe. So what does she say?
I don't know. You're Goofy Mac.
Okay,
Doesn't...
well, hand it back to me. I'll just
Goofy
read it.
Mac.
So I do have to make a comment though. Something Bill mentioned to me as I walked in. He goes, "Are you keeping that hat on?" We got to talk about. We mentioned these hats on the first day. These are called Stormy Chromers. And this is something that they're made.
I got one like that. Comes over ears. That's great.
Well, and these are unique. They're made. They're American made. And a Stormy Chromer, you can get them. They're made. What city are they?
Ironwood, Michigan.
Ironwood, Michigan. Is that in the UP?
Yeah, it's over west of me, where I grew up.
So it's up, and so this one I bought when I was up there because this is kind of
That is a real one.
This is a Stormy Chromer. And they're not cheap, y'all. But
they're well worth it.
But I love it. I absolutely. And so, and girls, once you put a hat on, we don't take our hats off. Girls,
I understand that. Yeah,
you commit to a hat.
You wear a hat. I don't care if you're indoors. We don't have to take our hats off. But yes, I'm leaving it on. But I have added several Stormy Chromers to my Christmas list. Or my gift list, because the kids are always like, "What can we get you for
Mother's Day
or whatever?" So I'm going to have a Stormy Chromer collection. I suppose wardrobe. I need a Stormy Chromer wardrobe. And if you've not checked these hats out, guys, you can get them on Amazon, but make sure you get a Stormy Chromer
brand.
And they've got them for men and women. They've got all different kinds.
How do you spell Chromer? CROME.
KRO. MMIE or no MMER.
Yeah.
And if you go to my Facebook page and I'll reshare it, there is a video about how they're made and how they are handmade or they're made here in America. Stormy STORMY STORMY. I'm a little
Stormy.
I get my words backwards a little bit, believe it or not. STORMY Stormy Chromer KROMER. Stormy Chromer. And
just like it's spelled. Just like it's
I know, but sometimes you want to go a different way. But anyway, so but that is go and watch that video. Our niece Carrie sent that to us. She lives up there. And it's a fascinating story because it's got a lot of history. They've been around since like 1903, maybe. I forget. Early 1900s when they started making them. I think I've got that right.
What's the cost range?
They're about $50-$60, but they're really high quality hats. They're super high quality hats. And hang on just a minute. So you can just tell them I posted a profile pic with some info. Okay, so if you want to go to Lee Marie's profile on social media, you can find out all you need to know about what she's got going on. But I think she's got some notes in here about the library and all kinds of things. But go to Lee Marie and you'll find her, and you can get all the information that she's putting up. But I'll try to kind of I'll turn it back over to Bill here in a minute. I'm going to do an ad.
I hope
and
not.
Then let you talk. We'll just kind of recap the forecast and what to expect this weekend.
I want to know more about this drone thing.
You do have that. We'll let y'all talk about that, and I'll read what Lee Marie's has for us, and then we'll recap that. But let me do my ad. We're going to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Of course, our full-time sponsor that's been with us forever. And I talk about full-time sponsors, just like Corbin's not in the ad rotation right now because it's winter. And so they've taken a little bit of a break just simply because there's just not as much going on out there. But, people like the Corbins and the Richards that have been with us from the very get-go, cannot say enough about them, just love them to pieces. And Barry and Rebecca have been just such a great supporter of this program. They're great supporters of all things Robertson Countyans because they're cross-Plainians. They're part of us, and they specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line up in Kentucky. If you've got questions about Robertson County properties, man, they're your go-to. They are so knowledgeable. They come from a diverse background. She worked in radiology before she got involved in real estate about 17, 18 years ago. Barry comes out of that media marketing background that just gives him a plethora of information to help you market your properties, from the drone footage, the photography and the videography, the walkthrough tours, all of those things. They're so helpful and so knowledgeable. If you need to know more, whether it's buying or selling, please reach out to them. She is one of the agents up in White House. You can connect with her. Just Google Rebecca Richards, Exit Realty Garden Gate Team. You'll find out all of her connections. You can also go to sellwithbecky.com, buy.robertscounty.com. Her phone number is 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. You can get in touch with Barry. He's in the downtown square. He has an office on the square. He is the Springfield broker for Exit Realty. Same thing, just Google them. You'll find unique web pages for both of them. Barry Richards, Exit Realty Garden Gate Team, talking about their properties that they've dealt with that are historic properties, from businesses to homes. Really interesting couple, great supporters of this program and so many things in the community. Cannot say enough about them when it comes to representation for the real estate community. Exit Realty, Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Realty Garden Gate Team. When you contact them, please let them know that you turn sunshine. And getting back into the show, go ahead, Bill. Recap this
Well, that's for if you want a commercial pilot license. It's a Part 107 of the FAA.
I've already taken a picture of it, so we'll get it ordered.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to have it to fly a drone. That's just for commercial use.
I don't need a commercial license, Mark. I've got enough studying to do.
I do.
No, you don't.
For
Why would you
teaching,
need
if I want to teach the class, a CJ4.
Well, it's good to know. I mean, it's not hard.
Well, because now here's the question that we've had. If I want to teach my students to fly a drone, there is a license that I do have to have, but I don't think it's a commercial license. I don't
I don't know. I hadn't heard about that one.
Yeah, but it's for us to be able to show our students how to, to fly a drone.
You can they have this little autopilot. I mean, two of them that go together, two controllers that have used to maybe Wi-Fi now, but they had a cable that went between the two, and you stand there with a student, and you can take over if he screws up. That was great. That's how I knew a lot of people learned like that.
Well, the ones that they've got now, I'm telling you, you have.
I saw yours.
Yeah, you got to try to crash them, I think.
You really, once you've got them in the air, you can just take and bring it home, and it'll just fly itself.
Well,
I mean,
you get these little cheapies for $50.
Yeah.
You're going to fly, crash, throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
They're not going to be, and they're just not workable.
Something we have discovered that's an awful lot of fun are the ones that you can, the little ones that you can fly around the house.
Chase your cat around
there's
with.
some of them that have the command sequence is very similar to what you're going to fly. We have found a little one that's like $50.
Yeah.
We got, my mother got
I got one of
actually.
those.
I got one for my son for Christmas, and then my mother got it for my grandson. and they fly the same as my DJIs that I have at school. So what I'm going to do is I'm planning on getting a couple of those for the kids to just kind of fly around the classroom to get them acclimated to the control sequence, and before I take them out and have them. Because right now, if I'm teaching them, I'm just letting them fly in the practice field. They're not going over anybody. We're just learning.
Football practice field.
Yes. And so that's all we do. But if I'm going to let them fly, over the city and things like that, we've got to have certain training. And I guess.
Well, you can't fly over the city unless you're a commercial pilot.
Really?
No, you're not supposed to.
Okay.
We need to read the book.
That's why this book would help you with that.
Okay, well, we need to get that book, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I need to get a commercial pilot.
And you have to, if you get a license, you have to renew it every 2 years. You got to take another test. That's where mine went out. I didn't realize it, and I've got to take another test. Go to $175. Go to Clarksville for the test.
Well, I mean, if we need it for school, I mean, I'm sure it can be. We have money for.
Well, what you got to watch out now in the schools, these things can go haywire and hit somebody and hurt them. So, make sure you're covered.
Well, and that's
Insurance.
The thing. A lot of people, they're like, "Are you going to bring the drone out? Are you going to bring the drone out, Miss Vivio?" And I'm like, "You guys don't understand. A lot of we've gone to football games where they're flying drones all over the football field. They're not supposed to be doing that, guys.
No.
They're not supposed to be doing that.
Not unless they get a clearance from FAA.
Yeah.
FCC.
And
FAA, yeah.
Because I've had the conversation with, Coach White, that's, one of my mentors and next door to me in the classroom. We were talking about, I was going to, when we had the football homecoming, I was planning on bringing the drone out and I was going to be on the end zone, away from anybody, and just go up in the air and just get some shots. Just that. Completely not over anybody. But the weather was just terrible. And so we got to talking about it, and he was telling about how that they will go to football games and they're flying all over the place. I'm like, man, that is, you can get them in so much trouble because they're not supposed to be doing that. That's so dangerous.
There was a kid down shooting the Christmas parade.
With a drone. Over people?
Remember? Yeah, he was right by us.
Okay, I don't think I remember.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of drones going crazy and flying right into the crowd. And on,
you will hurt somebody bad.
Yeah, bleachers, just run into them. And those drones, the big drones like you got, it'll hurt you bad.
Yes, it will.
But that's what's making our son a living, that theory right there.
He's got all kinds of our son, one of our boys works for a company down in Huntsville, and they build defense drones that grab nefarious drones. The drones he builds are the size of a car.
Yeah.
And they're
the defense with a fishnet.
Yeah, they have a net that grabs a drone and then retrieves it.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's called AeroGuard. That's what our son builds. And
SCI company, AeroGuard is the division. Yeah.
But anyway, the drones are fascinating, but you've got to be careful with them, guys, and there are a lot of regulations.
You got 4 razor blades or 6 razor blades spinning at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Well, even that little bitty drone that we've got that we're flying around the house, if that thing hits you, it don't feel really good. Yeah, put an eye out. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
shoot an eye out.
But
get you a Red Ryder drone.
While I'm going to go through what Lee Marie has sent up, and if you would just kind of recap what people can expect for the next few days. But we got Bill Jones in here. He is Robertson County Weather. If you want to follow him on social media, Robertson County Weather. And I will link that and put that up on my Facebook page once we finish up here and I get where I have internet with Cumberland Connect. But we'll recap the weather forecast. But I do want to remind you that the Go Show will not be happening today. Lee Marie lives on a very treacherous part of the highway, and you just can't get out. So we just want to remind you guys of that. But if you want to try to find what she has on social media, you can find her at Lee Marie. Her profile picture is a white circle that says, "Put God in the center of everything." Some of the stuff that's going on. Good morning, Robertson County. The breakfast that they normally have tomorrow, it's going to be postponed till next Thursday. So, Good Morning Robertson County has been postponed until next Thursday. Stokes Brown Library is open today, but only from noon to 5. Noon to 5. You've got Stokes Brown Library opening today. Most of the midweek church services have been canceled. Pretty much everybody that I'm aware of has canceled. CR, Celebrate Recovery had to cancel too, because that is really about the only time Celebrate Recovery will cancel is if it's for your safety. So Celebrate Recovery at Epiphany was canceled last night. The one for Madison Church of Christ that I help with is canceled tonight. Let's see. Grace Baptist has canceled their Wednesday dinner. But as of last night, they were still still planning a prayer and praise thing at Grace Baptist. So check Facebook before you head out to Grace Baptist tonight. They may have something going on, but they're not going to have the dinner. Be sure, this is a really good point, Lee Marie. If you are going to venture out, make sure before you crank your car up, hit your car hood, because if there's an animal, how many of us have had little kitty cats get up in our car because they are trying to get warm? And maybe you've had your car cranked up and you go in and you come back out and an animal will crawl up in your hood, especially when it's super, super cold. I can remember one time going to church and a kitty cat had ridden up, and fortunately it didn't kill it, but it came to church with us because we lived near the church when I was a little kid. But we had one that rode all the way to church with us under the hood of the car. So keep in mind that those animals will get up in there and kind of just tap on your hood and make sure you don't have a little animal. Yeah, what Mark said, he goes, you don't want a bobcat. But kind of keep that in mind. Also, too, let's see. She is saying to make sure you get the snow away from your heating and cooling unit, because you need that circulation, So if you've got snow piled up around that, if maybe it drifts up against it.
Scrape your windows.
And drink lots of water. Stay hydrated.
Don't look like a tank driver going down the road. Take a few seconds and scrape your windows.
Scrape the windows. But anyway, so that's all of Lee Marie's little tips that she sent me on social media, and you can follow her at Lee Marie. Look for her. It says her Facebook page says, "Put God in the center of everything. You'll know you're at the right page." And my page is LaVern Vivio, not the Congress page, not any of the other pages, just the LaVern Vivio.
And that was another fun thing yesterday.
What?
Spending all the time with GoDaddy on the phone the other day, trying to get all that straightened out.
I don't even want to think about that. Some things that you try to get done while you're snowed in, you try to take care of things. I had some. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Hey, Bill, go over the weather forecast.
Okay, Thursday and Friday are treacherous, I think, because it's calling for snow or rain. And it's right in that margin where today we got sun out there. I think I can see through the window. Yeah. Sun, it'll do some melting, even though it's, it's in the single digits. It'll do some melting. But tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, it's snow or rain. One of the two in there is off and on. And that's what makes it, that's what makes it really hard on us. That stuff will when it freezes up, it gets real crunchy, gets slick. It wasn't slick before. Yeah. And it gets on the power lines and things and weighs it down. Not good. Thursday and Friday is not going to be as good as Monday and Tuesday was.
Right.
Because of that. It's going to be a little warmer, but it's going to go back down pretty cold at night. So all that stuff freezes up, hardens up again. It's just a time to stay home Thursday and Friday. And hope the next week comes quick, because it's going to be up fairly decent warm. We'll be out in the bathing suits Tuesday probably.
I love it. And that's
50-degree weather.
That's one of the best things about living around here. And the one thing about being up north is it gets exhausting trying to put on your winter gear and all of that before you go out. I mean, all the winter gear. The little picture that we put up of my grandson having a fit out in the snow, it wasn't because it was cold. It was because he didn't like the clothes. He's very agile. He climbs everything. And he couldn't move. And I mean, they dressed him, and he pretty much laid down on the floor and had a fit.
The Michelin Man.
Yes. And so they bundled him up and tried to take him out, and he's like, no. So it wasn't. Everybody's like, oh, that poor baby is cold. No, he didn't stay out there long enough to get cold. He did not like the clothing, and he just pitched a fit and laid down and like, I'm not doing this. And
I am a summer child.
It made a fun picture. But just keep in mind, guys, that we're not done with this yet. We're not done with this yet. And I mean, I'm really thinking it's going to be Tuesday before the roads are going to be.
A lot of people that's moved in here from other areas, they're asking a lot of questions.
Yes.
How many times is it going to do this?
There's no way to know. Well, and that's the reason why I cautioned the students whenever they were wanting to be out of school last Friday. I said, do you want to go past the date you're supposed to be out of school in the summer? Do you want to extend the school year? Because if we use all of our snow days, that's what happens. And this can happen. I can remember being out for 2 weeks when I was a kid because it just would not thaw. And you look at it right now, as you look at the way the temperatures are, I could see us not being in school even through Monday and not getting back to school until Tuesday. So that's 5 days we've used because now, fortunately, we were off for Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And I think we all kind of forgot about the holiday because of the snow, and that's a shame. And I myself did because we were talking Snowmageddon, and we forgot to really focus on the life of Dr. Martin Luther King. My cousin Betty Harper, amazing artist, put up a beautiful picture of him, and I shared that after the show on Monday, and I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't even mention him. And I hate that, but we did. That's a day that didn't count against our snow days. Is what my point is. So we only have, if we're out all week this week, that's 4, and then if we're out Monday, that's 5. And so I think then we only have about 5 more. And this is just January, y'all. February can be worse than January.
March,
April. March. I mean, one of the biggest snows. I grew up 2 hours from here, and one of the biggest snows we ever got as a kid was on March 20th when my brother was born on the first day of spring. So, I don't want to go to school until June, y'all. So we don't be grumbling about going back to school, and pray for our emergency management people, all of our electrical workers, because as Bill said, tomorrow could be really messy if it's ice instead of snow or rain. Any comments as we wrap it up here, Bill?
I don't know. I don't want to live where y'all live. It's too long a trek.
Stay off.
I'm on the hill right over here.
Yeah, you're really close to the main road.
So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so it's real handy. For us, it's fine because we always keep at least one 4-wheel drive vehicle. And if you want to be able to get around in this, you might want to invest in a 4-wheel drive vehicle for the future, and that way you're never stranded.
And if all else fails, we have the John Deere tractor.
Oh, yeah. I'm not getting out on that.
Did you see the video of the 2 horses pulling a car out of the ditch? It was on news last night. It was Mennonites up in Kentucky.
I love that. That's good.
These 2 horses pulled this car out of a ditch, out of a bank.
Of course they did. Those horses. Oh, and there's a couple of comments I didn't see from Paul from a little bit earlier. We were talking about the fire, the fire trucks and his experiences with fire engines. He said that the fire engines they had automatic chains. They had cable chains that would come out. So I guess they would have.
I didn't know about that.
I didn't know that either. That's interesting, Paul. Okay. We'll have to check that out. I'll be checking out the fire engines and seeing what they've got. But, guys, just be careful out there. I'll be here tomorrow planning on it. I've got my driver. And I forget, I guess we've got United Way scheduled tomorrow. I don't know that they'll make it. But I'll check it in and we'll see. We'll have something for you. I'll try to do a roads report every morning that I come in. And we may even give you some road report here.
Well, I tell you what, you can just stay home and Mark and I handle it.
There you go. We're going to have fun.
Bill and Mark will come in and do the show. So there you go. Well, and I may, if my guests, bail on me tomorrow.
We'll talk about beer and football.
Go Packers.
No.
We'll go Packers.
This is a Christian radio station. We do not talk about alcohol on this. He was joking, Ilyu.
But we can still go Packers. We got a couple.
Packers.
49ers are going down.
Oh, see, that's the thing. We talk a little football. We can go a few minutes because normally you would have the Go Show. The Go Show is not happening today. Lee Marie is stranded because of the snow. But that is something we do have to give a shout out to our Green Bay Packers. And they're playing Saturday night. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Coach is from my alma mater.
There you go.
I can't imagine how, I can, but getting hit when you're real cold and things are stiff, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, it does.
It's got to hurt.
It does.
Yeah, Mark's had some time with that. Bill, played football too. So
yeah, but
we
not
really go down
not
at
professional.
15
degrees.
Not at 15 degrees.
In Gwynn, Michigan.
I don't ever remember that. I remember a guy over in Cross Plains. They had a football game one night. It was really, really cold. And I won't mention this guy's name because people over there know him. And he kept telling the coach, they were playing, the game was real close. He said, "Coach, put me in. I want to go in." The coach says, "Just wait a minute." And they come, "I want to go in." The coach finally said, "Well, you go in for Jones." He said, "No, I don't mean that. I want to go in the house. I'm cold."
It's just like, oh my God, I'm done, coach. I could care less about this football thing. That's hysterical. All right, guys. Well, that'll wrap it up for us. But thank you for joining us. This is One Street Over. This is 1100 WSGI. Stay safe. Keep in mind with what Bill was saying, it could get even more treacherous in the next couple of days. Be safe. Don't get out if you can possibly avoid it. And remember, this time next week, it's going to be 40, 50 degrees again, and it'll all go away. And that's the best thing about living in Robertson County, living in the South, is we don't have to live with this all the time. Stay safe. Again, this is 1100 WSGI.